In the meantime, here's Art in Windsor, Connecticut, as we go back to the phones. Hello, sir.
Rush, how you doing?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
Look, I just think, there used to be laws that said black people can't marry white people. I don't think this is any different. I mean, if you're gay and you want to marry somebody who's gay, marry somebody who's gay. That's your business. What is the business of the state government or the federal government telling me who I can and can't marry?
You are serious with this? You want to equate interracial marriage to homosexual marriage?
Yeah, I think that a person should be able to make their own personal decisions. I think actually this should be something the Republican Party should be in support of. It's individual rights.
It is.
You can marry whoever you want.
You don't have to worry about the Republican Party's moving in that direction. It is.
Yeah.
Well, where does it? Let me ask you this: where does this freedom to do what you want stuff stop? And what in your case, what would two people wanting to do raise a red flag for you? What would you say? No, wait a minute, no, you shouldn't do that.
Well, I think if you were talking about like a 3-party marriage, an 8-party marriage,
why?
Like that.
Why? What? I mean, if you love one, you can love two. What if all three people love each other and they want the benefits and all that? Why? Who among us should deny those three people their love?
I think they can be loved. I just don't think you need to give it a legal status.
Why not?
Because two people would make a family. They could raise kids, adopt kids, do whatever they want. I don't think society.
Well, wait a minute. No, but why can't three people do that? In fact, if you have two of the same sex and one of the opposite sex, you've handled the adoption part. You don't need to adopt. You have one woman and two guys in a marriage, and the woman could be impregnated by the two, and voila, you got a family.
No, I don't see that.
And you have a lot of love, and what could possibly be wrong with that?
I think society is determined that two spouses, two people...
well, wait, society is determined, by the way, society has, human civilization from the beginning of time has determined that marriage is a union of a man and a woman. The Republicans didn't do it.
Right.
Conservatives didn't do it.
Right.
Churchill didn't do it. Margaret Thatcher didn't do it. Mm-hmm. Gorbachev didn't do it. It was humanity which did it. And you just said society has determined that, society has determined that marriage is between a man and a woman. But you don't think society's right in that case. I don't agree with you. I think society has evolved away from that. I think the people in general think that if you want to marry somebody, you should be able to marry. Well, someday the society is going to evolve away from marriage being two people, and it can be three or four. And you're going to oppose that then for some reason. You're going to deny those people their love.
Yeah, I would. I would oppose that.
Why? I don't understand. Why would you discriminate that way? What does the number matter when we're talking about love here?
Because I think that in general, two people are necessary to raise a family unit. You need two parents.
Well, why? Because every family's got grandparents and aunts and uncles. It's always more than just two people raising the child. It's a village doing it sometimes in the Clintons' case.
Not in my family. I never had the village come to my house and raise my family. I think that it generally takes two people. I'm not homosexual. I became a Republican after Lieberman got thrown out of the Democratic Party because I said party doesn't have enough room for Joe Lieberman. It doesn't have enough room for me. But I think that once that decision has been made, that in our society, financially and economically, you need two people to raise.
Well, but now see, let me play devil's advocate with you, because in the case of homosexual marriage, without additional steps, you can't. Those two people can't produce a family.
Right, they can't. They'd have to adopt. But then you'd have to
adopt or have a surrogate. Artificial womb somewhere.
Yes, or you'd have to say, I've got.
You think maybe society?
You had a sterile woman.
Well, do you think marriage evolved in society precisely because it takes one of each sex to make another human being?
It used to.
Let me ask you this: do you believe, or not believe? You think it matters or not that a child grow up with two parents or one?
I think in an ideal world, it's better to have a male and female parent, but I think that the world is never ideal, and I think having two parents of the same sex is better than having one parent who's not the same sex.
Why do you think that?
I think two parents are better than one parent. I just don't. I think two parents help to raise a family properly, and I think it really helps if you have a two-parent family.
But why? What do two accomplish that one can't?
Well, they produce more income. They have more time to divide among their kids. When one parent needs to take the kid to school and the other one needs to go to work, they can do that. I mean, they can divide it's a more resource available situation.
But with feminism, you don't have anybody at home anymore.
Well,
both husband and wife go off to work, and either got daycare or a nanny or somebody else not in the family raising the kid.
I think that was a temporary thing. I think that's kind of shifting back the other way now, as you were talking about just a few days ago, I think, weren't you?
Well, the phenomenon, yes, of feminist women deciding after birth that, you know what, I think I want to stay home with the child. Yes, that is happening.
Right.
It has been happening for a while. So we could say that you hate single mothers. You hate single parents. No,
I don't think you could say that. I just think it's not the ideal situation.
Well, but that's what's going to happen to you. I just want to warn you. If you're going to become a hater and a bigot, this is how the people. If there's a movement out there for single parent families, and it's perfectly fine, it's nobody's business, but you Art come along saying, no, there have to be two parents, even if same sex, you are going to become a hater. If you oppose the single parent family movement, should there ever be one, you will be called a hater and a bigot. I'm just trying to prepare you for it.
Well, thanks, Rush. I appreciate the update there.
Okay, so our caller here hates single mothers. That's what we've learned here today from Art.
All right.
At the end of the call. Art, I appreciate your call. I really do. I hope you have a wonderful day out there. We are going to hear a moment ago named Art, who steadfastly maintained that he does have limits on this stuff. He thinks it's fine if two men want to get married and two women want to get married. That's cool. None of our business. They love each other. That's great. And two parents, even the same sex, better than a single parent. So Art clearly hates single parents. As things work out in America today. But I said, well, okay, Art, at what point will these kind of arrangements become something you can't agree with? He said, well, three people. If three people want to get married, I'm going to draw the line at why? Well, it's just too many. Well, why? I mean, there's more love, the better. Two people in love, three people in love, two people of one sex, one of the opposite sex. I mean, you got constant sex that way, and you've got constant babies being born, and you don't need adoption. He couldn't go for that. And I kept probing. I go, why not? What's wrong with three? Why not four? It's just like the minimum wage argument. You can eventually reach an amount that even proponents say is too much. And here with the gay marriage argument, you can construct a definition of marriage that even proponents of same-sex marriage will, no, that's going too far. But see, once you cancel the definition of marriage, then it can become anything. And that's another thing that Roberts is saying. Once you take something that has a specific definition and you obliterate that, then it can become anything you want. There's no limit to it. So there's a church out there, folks, called the Unitarian Church. Many of you have heard of it. You just don't want people to know that you know. There's a joke about Unitarians. The joke is, and this is the Washington Post saying this is not an elRushbo joke, just so you know. This right here, Washington Post. The joke about the Unitarians is that they are where you go when you don't know where to go. Theirs is the religion of last resort for the intermarried, the ambivalent, the people who want a faith community without too many rules. It's perhaps no surprise the Unitarian Universalist Association is one of the fastest growing denominations in the country. They've grown by 15% over the past decade. But within the ranks of the Unitarian Church over the past few years, there has been some quiet unrest concerning an activist group within the church vociferously supporting polyamory. That is to say, the practice of loving and relating intimately to more than one person at a time. Now, you people in Rio Linda know all about this. But for the rest of you, polyamory is loving and relating to three people in a relationship, four people in a relationship at the same time. And the Unitarians have a mission statement from the Unitarian Universalists for Polyamory Awareness, or UUPA. That's the acronym, UUPA. It is. UUPA to UUPA. The UUPA encourages spiritual wholeness regarding polyamory. Now, here's the problem. What's the limit? Where do you draw the line on polyamory? 2 women and 1 man? 1 woman and 6 men? 3 women and 2 men? 12 people. Where do you draw the line? The line has not been drawn. The polyamorists don't want any such lines. They don't want any limits whatsoever. A great example of this would be the famous rapper Shawty Lowe. Remember him? He was going to have that great TV show, The Rapper, in Atlanta. The Oxygen Network canceled it. Boy, this guy was ahead of his time. This guy had 11 kids with 10 baby mamas. And they canceled his show because it was upsetting. But this guy fit right in now. That show could be exactly what's called, especially to humiliate Roberts. You know, you could put that show on a DVD and drop it off at Roberts' office. Say, here, these are my friends. So it is happening out there within the Unitarian Church. But the headline of this story is many Unitarians would prefer that their polyamory activists keep quiet. In other words, don't talk about it. Don't call attention to what we're doing here. Just do it. If you have a spiritual wholeness and an intimate relationship with 3 people, do it, but don't tell anybody. Don't run around and brag about it when you go to the IHOP. You know, just do it. And this church is growing. But some people won't like that because there's limits.